Step right into the vibrant heart of Guyana with HGP TV's freshest series, Inside Culture. Dive deep into the pulsating core of our spirited nation as we unravel the captivating stories embedded in our arts, music, sports, and beyond. A journey to nurture your soul and celebrate our rich heritage. Join us on HGP TV, where Inside Culture brings you closer to the heart and soul of Guyana, airing Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. and rebroadcasting on Sundays.
Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. GPN workers threaten strike action over 7% salary increase offer. Nasi says the offer is insulting to workers. Tushao found stabbed to death in Queenstown Hotel. Police reviewing CCTV footage. Hughes slams GECOM for inaction regarding Deputy Speaker occupying seat in Parliament. And 54 products cleared for trade ahead of launch of regional ferry service. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Monday, December 16 edition of the HGP Nightly News. We have what you need to know this evening. We begin first up by telling you that some staff over at the Guyana Power and Light say the management of the power company has not plugged enough electricity into their paychecks and are threatening strike action. More details in this report. Hundreds of workers attached to the Guyana Power and Light Company are threatening strike action because the power company is offering them a 7% salary increase as opposed to the 10% across-the-board pay hike for public servants and teachers. The workers are represented by the National Association of Agricultural, Commercial and Industrial Employees, NASI. NASI's General Secretary, Deshaun Nagaskar, on Friday said that the union met with GPL's management team and rejected the 7% offer.
Initially, GPL said that they are awaiting the pronouncement on the government, which was done on Tuesday. We came to the meeting hoping that we will agree to the 10% that was announced to the government, but that is not to be.
Nagasar said that since teachers, sugar workers and other public servants will benefit from the government's announcement of 10%, GPL's 7% offer is insulting.
The government pronounced a 10% increase to 2024, 8% increase to 2025, also with some in-scale movements, additional increases. We at GPL is asking that we are willing to accept the 10% increase.
However, Nightly News understands that in January of this year, the Guyana Power and Light paid a 3% salary increase to some workers, and following the president's announcement, the workers only needed 7% more.
That has nothing to do with across the board. The president also announced in-scale movements for public sectors. That has nothing to do with the across the board. The 10% that we are asking for is the 10% that the president announced across the board.
The NACI General Secretary believes that the offer by the Guyana Power Company is unfair to the workers.
Yes, up to yesterday, we agreed to 10% with GECOM. The same NACI for the junior staff of GECOM and the private salary of GECOM. Right? We signed a 3-year agreement for the 10%, the 8%, and the 9% across the board. Right? Public servant already accept the 10% across the board.
Negotiations between NACI and the Guyana Power and Light remain stalled up until Monday. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. On the police blotter, police in Regional Division A have opened a murder investigation after the body of a Mazaruni Tusha was found in a Queenstown hotel. More details in this report. Undertakers removed the body of 37-year-old Ridley Joseph from a room of the Signature Inn Hotel in Queenstown Monday morning. Joseph was the Tusha of Tassarini Village in the Middle Mazaruni district. Sources familiar with the investigation told the Nightly News that detectives are treating the discovery of Joseph's body as murder since he appeared to have been stabbed. Chairman of the National Tushaus Council, Derek John, told reporters at the scene that Joseph, who had checked into the hotel on Sunday night, had traveled to Georgetown for the second executive meeting of the National Tushaus Conference.
Well, we were all elected in last July, and we met once as an executive, and so far it's, we realized that Tushaw was a very dedicated leader. He had a lot as a good leader, a lot of good potentials. We saw it with him, even though that we didn't have much association with him, because, as I said, it was only once we met as an executive.
John said Joseph's leadership, dedication and contributions to his district and the NTC will always be remembered.
But I think that Tushaw was a very good family person. He was soft-spoken, and you could have seen his desire there to lead his community and also contribute at a national scale as it relates to indigenous people's rights and their development.
What is contributing out here?
Well, this will be our second executive meeting for the year, and we had planned to begin our meeting today and also close out for the year 2024. And unfortunate that this happened.
After a review of CCTV cameras, it is believed that police are looking for a male who was seen in the company of Joseph prior to his death. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Antonio Day tells us that the Alliance for Change leader Nigel Hughes has once again called out the Guyana Elections Commission for its inaction regarding the removal of Deputy Speaker Asher Kissoon from the National Assembly.
On Friday, the Guyana Elections Commission GECOM received heavy criticisms from leader of the Alliance for Change AFC Nigel Hughes over its failure to remove leader of the new movement TNM Asher Kissoon from the National Assembly.
And yet another week of inaction by GECOM to have Dr. Kissoon removed from the National Assembly. It is a very simple process by which they can issue a certificate, decertifying her, or alternatively recall the certificate they had issued before.
GECOM's legal officer Curtis Silver recently advised the Elections Commission that Kissoon should not have been in the Assembly in the first place. He has explained that in keeping with the Representation of the People's Act, although the three parties form part of a joint list, it is a party that secured the most votes that should have the parliamentary seat for the entire term. Kissoon's TNM party secured the least number of votes, Following the 2020 election, Leonard Schumann's Liberty and Justice Party, LJP, gained the most votes, 2,657, followed by ANUG, 2,313, and TNM, 244. According to the elections body, that meant that Schumann should have remained in Parliament for the duration of the current sitting and not Kissoon. Hughes, and also an attorney at law, said, by doing nothing, Chairman of the Elections Commission Claudette Singh is facilitating the continued presence of someone in the National Assembly who is not entitled to be there.
This continued lack of action by the Chairman of GECOM in facilitating the continued presence in the National Assembly of someone who is not entitled to be there continues to perpetuate what is now a region-wide and international embarrassment for the country.
The AFC leader also repeated calls for Singh to resign.
One would have expected prompt action by GECOM. Instead, we've had delay against delay and further delay. This, as far as we're concerned, further fortifies our demand for the chairperson of GECOM to go.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay with us. You're watching the HGP Nightly News.
Shop and win up to $10 million in cash and prizes at Court's Millionaire Jackpot. Shop from November 1 to December 24, 2024 at any Court store. 10 weekly winners at every Court store countrywide from November 10, 2024. And the grand drawing takes place on December 24, 2024 at the Court's Mega Store. Court's, bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and we've got the most wonderful deals. Get the perfect gift from Digicel. Grab the Samsung A05 for just $17,900, the A25 for $37,900, or treat yourself to the S24 Ultra for only $205,000. And that's not all. Every phone comes with a free 30-day data plan. Don't wait. These holiday savings won't last forever. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Krishna Rock Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Rock Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. Georgetown's Mayor Alfred Mentor has raised fresh concerns over government's lease of the prime Carifesta Avenue land to a Qatar-owned company. More from Caris Gonzalez.
Georgetown Mayor Alfred Mentor recently told Nightly News that no project proposal has been submitted to the City Council for the Carifesta Avenue land that was leased to Qatar Assets Group Inc. for the development of a seafront hotel. Mayor Mentor emphasized that while the new single-window process is in place, the proposal must be presented to the Council for review.
The project still has to come through the City Council for ratification, and we want to have those documents before us before we could actually pronounce.
Mentor also pointed out that while both the Mayor and City Council, MNCC, and the government are claiming ownership of the properties, the government has yet to engage with the MNCC. He noted that the council is closely monitoring developments related to the Carifesta Avenue lands.
Those are things that we'll iron out, obviously, at some kind of a roundtable discussion to determine how those resources will be repurposed so that the city will have a significant benefit.
Reiterating the council's position, Mentor stressed that the MNCC believes it should be part of the decision-making process. He called on the government to seek a resolution, emphasizing that the council is always open to finding a solution.
We must be able to find a common ground between the different sides, even the Qatari side, to be able to figure out how we'll deal with a number of issues. We have our markets, our Starbuck market, we have our vendors arcade mall, we have our border market, green, that we're looking to have significant investment. And for us to reduce our particular stance, we must have a quid pro quo arrangement to allow for monies to be allocated.
Opposition Member of Parliament David Patterson has also expressed dissatisfaction with the government's handling of the lease of Carifesta Avenue lands. Patterson sought clarification on several aspects of the deal, including whether any bids had been submitted and which agencies were involved in the process. He raised concerns after discovering that the proposed development would impact the National Park and St. Stanislaus ground. In response, Minister Singh clarified that only the Guyana National Service GNS and the National Insurance Scheme NIS Sports Ground were affected. However, Patterson dismissed this explanation, citing ongoing construction works that contradicts the minister's statement. I am Carice Gonzalez reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, in light of several areas being prone to flooding, particularly during the rainy season, Georgetown's Mayor Alfred Mentor said the City Council has plans to mitigate flooding but is hampered by limited resources. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
During a recent press briefing on garbage collection plans for the Christmas season, Georgetown Mayor Alfred Mentor explained that while the City Council has plans to mitigate flooding in the city, a lack of resources remains a significant challenge.
We always have plans, but we also are short on resources. We function on rates and taxes and also other fees from markets and otherwise.
Mayor Mentor noted that while there has been improvement in payments from various ministries, significant amounts are still owed to the council by the central government and other entities.
Significant improvement in those ministries and others paying or honoring their obligation, but there's still significant obligations by them to treat with and handle matters.
He emphasized that central government often collaborates with the City Council towards year-end to address critical drainage issues. However, the funds are not given directly to the council, but are instead used collaboratively to address identified areas in need of intervention.
That we discount from our rates and taxes. Tax last week or last Monday for those particular areas that we've agreed on provided to the council, so that we must know those areas that were addressed, because we ourselves have to look at the other areas that weren't addressed.
Meanwhile, Councillor Clayton Hines highlighted that through a partnership with the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, NDIA, over the past 2 years, several canals in Georgetown have been cleared and maintained, easing some drainage issues.
All the east to west canals, all those canals, Lamar, go back to North Road, go to Princess Street, all of these to west canals, we have an arrangement in place with NDIA to assist in that regard.
Yanako reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
You need to know that leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, is insisting that provisions be made in the law for opposition members of Parliament to sit on the board of the Natural Resources Fund and the Oversight Committee. Antonio Day is on this story.
We call on the fourth term president to actually propose an amendment to the National Resource Fund Act that will allow the opposition to nominate a representative on the board of the National Resource Fund and also on the Oversight Committee. As you're all well aware, the opposition has only been allowed to nominate a person to the Investment Committee.
That was leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, during a press briefing last Friday. Recently in the press, Terence Campbell, an opposition representative of the Investment Committee, which falls under the Natural Resource Fund NRF, noted that he continues to be ignored as he seeks justification for withdrawals from the Sovereign Wealth Fund. It was along this context that Hughes stressed the need for representation from the opposition on the NRF board, headed by Major Retired Joseph Singh, as well as the Oversight Committee.
Dr. Terence Campbell, last week, in a letter to the editor, disclosed several disturbing aspects of what is happening with the National Resource Fund and its release.
General Secretary for the People's Progressive Party, Civic Bar Jagdeo, when asked about representation from the opposition on the NRF, said that they are being accused of being obstructionists. However, the Alliance for Change leader is adamant that in order to ensure transparency and accountability in the management of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, there must be appointed opposition representatives who can scrutinize the state, which has been accused of kleptocracy.
We believe that in the spirit of national interest, that an opposition representative ought to be proposed and ought to be allowed to nominate a representative both to the Oversight Committee and to the board.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
to $10 million in cash and prizes at Court's Millionaire Jackpot. Shop from November 1 to December 24, 2024 at any Court store. 10 weekly winners at every Court store countrywide from November 10, 2024. And the grand drawing takes place on December 24, 2024 at the Court's Mega Store. Court's, bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Thanks for staying with us here in the HGP Nightly News. 54 products will soon be cleared for unrestricted trade ahead of the launch of the highly anticipated regional ferry service between Guyana, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. Caris Gonzalez will tell you more.
During the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry GCCI annual Christmas dinner and award ceremony, Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deodat Indar, announced that a large number of items have now been approved for trade ahead of the much-anticipated launch of the regional ferry service between Guyana, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. Minister Indar highlighted that 67 items were initially flagged as problematic for regional trade. These items were then classified into two priority categories, A and B, in order to lift the restrictions preventing their exchange between the countries.
They have about 13 items in priority B, which are difficult, that the two countries need to fix to get normalized procedures. But there were 54 items that you can work with.
The minister also revealed that the trade ban on 54 specific products, such as ground provisions and fresh fruits, would be lifted once a ferry service begins.
So at least you can start a ferry operation with 54 items from the get-go, whilst you work on the others. And that is what we will prove, and they have a normalized custom procedure, normalized immigration procedure.
As Guyana leads representative and the regional body manager in the ferry service, Minister Indar highlighted that the immigration procedures used in Barbados were considered by both Guyana and Suriname as a potential model for making the regional ferry operation feasible.
What we have now, we have to build the facilities at Perica and one in Barbados so that the ship, the boat or whatever can come and dock.
However, during a recent meeting, it was agreed that the pre-clearance procedures for immigration, customs, and planned quarantine would be expedited, with the aim of launching the ferry service soon. This initiative promises to facilitate the movement of both passengers and cargo, potentially strengthening trade relations and supporting food security in the region. I am Carice Gonzalez reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
17 individuals have benefited from a refresher course on restorative practices, equipping them to help integrate this progressive doctrine into Guyana's legal system.
After the closing ceremony held at the Guyana Police Force Training Center, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Annie Nandlall emphasized government's commitment to fostering a justice system that prioritizes reconciliation over retribution.
Restorative justice is one of those concepts that promotes dialogue, promotes social engagements, promotes peace, and eschews confrontation and conflict.
The Attorney General underscored that restorative justice represents a shift away from the traditional adversarial legal system, promoting healing, accountability, and community cohesion. He described it as more than a legal strategy, calling it a way of life.
Justice is a lifestyle. What that means is that not only in your professional outputs and engagements are you to use the principles and precepts of restorative justice, but to do so in the conduct of your day-to-day activities.
Nandlall also highlighted the growing adoption of restorative justice globally, noting that the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, has been a strong advocate for this approach. Meanwhile, Dr. Diane Williams, an international mediator, mediation coach, and licensed trainer of trainers, explained that participants were carefully selected by the Restorative Justice Center to receive this refresher course.
They have the knowledge to execute, and then they are able to debrief at the end of the day, and they're able to engage in self-care so that they can continue what is, in effect, a journey. Restorative practices is a lifestyle, and with this training, they have begun a very deep but satisfying journey.
One participant from the training, Wendell Jeffrey, highlighted how his background in criminology and his career as a religious practitioner have prepared him for this role.
Very excited because I'm a criminologist and a student of psychology, and I work with ex-offenders, recovering addicts, and so on. I've been doing that for many years. Restorative justice in this format just brings the process full circle, where now I can be more involved with what I do.
Restorative justice is an alternative approach that focuses on rehabilitating offenders through a process of reconciliation with their victims and the community at large. It only applies to minor non-violent offenses and allows the offender to give back to the community while avoiding the stigma of a prison record. Participants will join the existing cohort of practitioners who are determined to educate Guyanese on the doctrine and reducing the heavy backlog of cases. Tianako reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Daisy Richards will tell you now that White Boy Auto Spares, located on the east coast of Demerara, continues to spread Christmas cheers to children across the region.
White Boy Auto Spares last Saturday spread cheer for the Christmas season by giving back to children along the East Coast corridor. This tradition began in 2017 when the establishment was opened and continues in honor of the owner and his family. Mistress Ali said that it is also done to honor a son that had passed away.
Whatever blessing we achieve for this charity, I pray that my son, Nasser Ali, who has passed away, will receive it.
She highlighted that the tradition will be upheld as long as they have the support of their loyal customers.
We'll do it as long as we live and our customers back us.
Every year, they donate gifts, clothes, and groceries to the children, while customers are treated every day or every week. White Boy Auto Spirits has joined several other businesses across Guyana in spreading Christmas cheer and putting smiles on the faces of children in need.
Santa looking for a wife. Santa looking for a wife. Santa looking for a wife.
For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
Santa Wonder Woman.
Thank you, Daisy. Stay tuned for your regional news.
Shop and win up to $10 million in cash and prizes at Court's Millionaire Jackpot. Shop from November 1 to December 24, 2024 at any Court store. 10 weekly winners at every Court store countrywide from November 10, 2024. And the grand drawing takes place on December 24, 2024 at the Court's Mega Store. Court's, bringing value home. Conditions apply.
This Christmas, Digicel is bringing you the gift of millions. 10 lucky customers will become millionaires for Christmas. Top up $1,000 or more for your chance to win $1 million. Turn your Christmas into a celebration of cash and cheer. 2 new millionaires every week. The countdown to Christmas millions is on. Top up $1,000 or more today for your chance to win. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Over 300 tons of steel are being fabricated here in Guyana for the Jaguar Floating Production, Storage and Offloading Vessel, FPSO. Industrial Fabrications Incorporated, INFAB, Guyana Oil and Gas Support Services Incorporated, GOGSI, and GECOM Group of Services are leading the charge, showcasing the skills and capacity of local talent. This project is a local content win, demonstrating the strength of Guyana's industrial capabilities.
Good evening, I'm Daisy Richards and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. We begin with news from Barbados. A fatal traffic accident on December 14 has left 2 persons dead and 2 others injured, prompting an investigation by local authorities. The collision occurred along Bennett's Road, St. James, around 1:50 a.m., involving 1 motor car with at least 4 occupants. Fatalities include 2 males, ages 41 and 37. They are yet to be identified by their families. 2 other occupants, a 24-year-old male and a female in her 20s, were both rushed to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for treatment. The female suffered serious head injuries and other injuries about her body, whilst the male had several cuts and abrasions. A full investigation is underway and authorities are promising to update the public as the investigation progresses. In Brazil, federal police arrested Brazil's former defense minister Walter Braga Neto on Friday, the army said, after the retired army general was accused in November of plotting a coup to overturn the results of the 2022 election. Braga Neto also served as chief of staff for former President Jair Bolsonaro and was his running mate for a failed 2022 re-election bid. Braga Neto, whom police accused of being a central figure in the alleged coup attempt, has denied any role in the event. In a statement that did not name Braga Neto, federal police said it had served 2 search warrants, an arrest warrant, and a precautionary measure other than arrest against people allegedly hindering investigations. The searches happened at Braga Neto's residence in Rio de Janeiro and the home of retired Colonel Flavio Botelho Perigeno in Brasilia. The army said in a statement, adding that Braga Neto would be put under army custody in Rio. In November, federal police accused Braga Neto along with Bolsonaro, other cabinet members and former military commanders of plotting a coup to bar President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva from taking office after he won the 2022 election. Finally, Member of Parliament Lisa Morris-Julian has died in a house fire along with two relatives. The fire happened before dawn on Monday at Farfan Drive, Arima. Morris Allen's son and his sister were in a section of the house they could not escape according to reports. They died there. Her husband and other children were able to make it out. Morris-Julian was a minister in the Ministry of Education and the Member of Parliament for the Abadi o Miera. She was also a former English teacher at the Barataria South Secondary School and a former mayor at the Arima Borough Corporation. In a statement, the People's National Movement wrote its members, quote, "Our initial reports from Minister Beckles Robinson, who is on the scene now, is that unfortunately our beloved sister Lisa perished in a home fire along with her 6-year-old son and her sister. The actual facts are still being confirmed, and in the meanwhile, we all lift her beautiful soul and those of her son and sister and the wider family in prayer. She was an absolutely beautiful, kind, strong, compassionate, and amazing person. We are all heartbroken," unquote. Thank you for watching. Do have a productive week. Until next time.
GPL workers threaten strike action over 7% salary increase offer. Nasi says the offer is insulting to workers. Tushao found stabbed to death in Queenstown hotel room. Police reviewing CCTV footage. Hughes slams GECOM for inaction regarding Deputy Speaker occupying seat in Parliament. And 54 products cleared for trade ahead of launch of regional ferry service. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.